On the 5th wedding anniversary. I went to the cake shop downstairs to pick up the order. However, the cake decorator whom I had known for a long time said that she was actually my husband's first love girlfriend, and they were about to get engaged. She also called me a despicable mistress who rose to power by relying on money. She called her group of friends, and they publicly beat me up in front of the cake shop. They tore my newly bought long dress, and even wanted to strip me naked and parade me through the streets. In the chaos, my elder sister, trying to protect me, was hit by an advertising billboard and bled profusely on the spot. My husband arrived late, but he forgave the cake decorator with a smile. It's just a misunderstanding. Once it's cleared up, everything will be fine. After working overtime, I walked into that cake shop downstairs. Hello. I'm here to pick up the wedding anniversary cake that was customized on Monday. While I was looking down at the messages on my phone, the cake decorator, Scarlett, came out and without saying a word, slapped me hard. You bitch. You lowlife. Do you even deserve to eat the cake I made with my own hands? I was confused and instinctively slapped her back. What on earth are you talking nonsense about? She sneered and scanned my body up and down with venomous eyes. I glared back at her furiously. Scarlett had been working in the shop for quite a while. I often met her when I came to buy cakes. We could even chat a few words each time. And I had even added her as a friend on WeChat. But I had no idea what had gotten into her today. How dare you hit me? Well, I'll make you remember tonight. The next second, Scarlett went crazy and opened the packaging box. She slapped the cream cake hard onto my head. The highlighted curly hair that cost me several thous and yuan was ruined just like that. I sensed her fierce malice and picked up my phone to call the police. But while my eyes were blinded by the cream, she grabbed my neck tightly. The few remaining customers in the shop all avoided the scene from a distance when they saw this. Scarlett then shouted outside the shop, calling in her group of friends and fans. 7 or 8 well-dressed women rushed in. Sisters. This is the mistress I told you about. She stole my childhood sweetheart boyfriend, Ryan, and has been provoking me and cursing me again and again. She relies on the fact that her family owns a company and has some money. She threatened my boyfriend that if he doesn't marry her, his whole family will suffer. I've been enduring it over and over again. But I just got out of the hospital today. And she came to order a cake wearing the clothes that belonged to me to provoke me. I really can't stand it anymore. It's all nonsense. Does she think she's acting in a TV drama? I was held down by several pairs of hands and could only gasp out in retort. She's lying. I've been married to my husband, Ryan, for 5 years. Where did this crazy woman come from? Scarlett wiped her tears and threw out a large stack of photos of her and Ryan. I took a quick glance with great effort, and my heart instantly turned cold. So that's it. The considerate husband I thought I had actually betrayed me long ago. Seeing my disheartened expression, Scarlett became even more aggressive. She poked my face provocatively with her long nails. Listen. She's so arrogant even as a mistress. I've been badly bullied by her. The other women nodded in agreement. She even dares to insult Scarlett in front of so many people. I can't imagine how arrogant she is in private. I'll tear your mouth apart. I hate this kind of slutty woman the most in my life. She floats around with that face of hers as if she's never seen a man in several lifetimes. I repeatedly stated that I was Ryan's legal wife and that I had countless photos and documents in my phone to prove it. But none of these women who were in the heat of the fight believed me. I struggled to dial the emergency contact, but Scarlett smashed my phone hard onto the ground. The screen shattered into pieces. Just like my angry and desperate heart at this moment. Every part of my body was being beaten and pinched by them. Physiological tears mixed with the blood on my face and flowed into my mouth. Scarlett was still shouting with her hands on her hips. She's even wearing the same dress as me. This dress was clearly bought for me by my boyfriend. It's unique. That's easy. Just strip it off her. Then several of them started pulling at my new dress vigorously, discussing parading me through the streets. My throat was so hoarse that I could barely make a sound. Get away. Don't touch me. This is a gift from my elder sister. And it has nothing to do with that bastard Ryan. Scarlett was furious and smeared the scraps of the cake all over my face. Insulting me is one thing. But you even dare to insult Brother Ryan? It shows how badly you treat him on a daily basis. You shrew. Slowly. A crowd of onlookers and people taking videos gathered in front of a cake shop. I tried so hard to shout and make mouth gestures, asking them to call the police for me. However, under the pretext of defending love and punishing the mistress, Scarlett managed to turn this premeditated mobbing into what seemed like a just counterattack. My clothes were torn to shreds, and my exposed skin trembled. My eyes were bloodshot. If you don't kill me tonight, you'd better watch out in the future. I won't let you off. It wasn't until my elder sister pushed through the crowd and rushed into the shop, hugging me tightly. As soon as she opened her mouth, tears streamed down her face. Let go of my sister. Who are you people? Why are you hitting her? Oh, so the mistress's elder sister is here too? Scarlett sneered. With such a shameless sister like you, you must not be a good person either. Let's deal with you together. My elder sister gritted her teeth and protected my head tightly. I've already called the police. Why don't you get out of here now? The fat woman slapped her. Calling the police? Do you think we're afraid? Let me tell you. It's perfectly natural to teach a lesson like this, and no one can stop us. We fought and wrestled all the way to the entrance of the cake shop. Suddenly, someone outside exclaimed, "Be careful. That advertising billboard above seems to be about to fall." Scarlett's eyes turned fierce. She kicked my elder sister and me to the ground and quickly dodged to the side. The advertising billboard fell and hit my elder sister's back directly. She spat out blood and large mouthfuls painfully and fainted in my arms. At that moment, my heart-rending wail resounded through the whole street. I woke up in the emergency room of the hospital. My whole body felt as if it had been broken down and reassembled. And the pain was excruciating. The diagnosis report stated that I had multiple contusions all over my body and a ruptured corpus luteum. And I urgently needed to be hospitalized. My so-called husband, Ryan, walked in from outside while talking on the phone. "Violet, you're finally awake." He seemed to be full of concern in his eyes and knelt down in front of me, about to hug me. I just wanted to kill him now, but I didn't even have the strength to raise my hand. "Get away. You scum." He was taken aback, and there were still tears in his eyes. "Honey, are you feeling unwell just after waking up? I'll call the doctor. Or you can go back to sleep. Leave the rest of the things to me to deal with." I stared at him coldly and asked with great effort, "Where's my elder sister?" Ryan lowered his head and his eyes dodged. "She's fine too." "Well, you should take care of yourself first." My heart sank heavily. I knew that my elder sister's situation must be bad. She had suffered from a rare blood disease not long ago, and had undergone 2 major surgeries. Her body had always been very weak. This time, she was implicated by me and bled continuously. Now she was still in the ICU. "Violet, don't be too sad. Everything is fate. We should just let nature take its course." I suddenly turned my head and picked up a glass and threw it at Ryan's face. Everything was because of him and that Scarlett. And he actually had the nerve to comfort me hypocritically. "Violet, are you crazy? It hurts so much." Ryan covered the swollen side of his face and shouted for the nurse to come and take a look. I hated him so much. Did he really feel the pain now? Then what about all the humiliation that my elder sister and I suffered tonight? I decided to let the lawyer team, left by my mother, collect evidence of Ryan's infidelity and draw up a divorce agreement. Suddenly, I stopped in my tracks, remembering that my phone had already been smashed by that crazy Scarlett. Ryan came up to me again and smiled obsequiously. "It's okay, honey. Your husband will buy you a new phone." I said infuriately. "You should compensate me for the phone. And you also need to explain when that cake girl Scarlett downstairs became your first love? And when did you become her dear boyfriend?" Ryan's expression stiffened. And he made an excuse to go out and make a phone call. I borrowed the phone of the girl in the next bed and swiped through it. I found that the video of me being beaten up as a mistress had made it onto the local trending topics. The topic included the keyword that I was the daughter of the Violet family. And the popularity remained high. The scene was extremely shocking. The assailants were pixelated. But I, the victim, was half naked and looked in great pain. Ryan. I'll give you 10 minutes to record a video to clarify things. He smiled and played dumb. Clarify what? I stared at him hatefully. Clarify when you cheated and how you, while being the son-in-law of my Violet family, had the nerve to flirt around shamelessly outside. Don't say such harsh words. Ryan said sullenly. It's just a misunderstanding. Do you have to make a big deal out of it and let everyone know? We can just clear things up when we have a chance. A misunderstanding? I laughed out of anger. And my heart rate soared. Did he call the purgatory-like torture I suffered tonight a misunderstanding? Did he call my pain and my elder sister's serious injury a misunderstanding? Well, I sneered and took out a fruit knife from the drawer and put it against his neck. Then if I kill you with this knife now, is that also a misunderstanding? If the police ask, I'll say that you mutilated yourself because you were too ashamed to face me. Ryan immediately fell silent. His pupils dilated in fear. Honey. What are you doing? Calm down. Calm down. Just for such a trivial matter. Do you want to murder your husband? Don't you care about our relationship of several years at all? He rambled on for so long. But he never mentioned his relationship with Scarlett. It was obvious that he wanted to stall for time and let the public opinion continue to ferment and push me to the forefront. I said coldly, are you going to record the video and clarify or not? I exerted force with my hand. And blood beads immediately appeared on his neck. Ryan was shocked and reluctantly followed my instructions. He showed our legal marriage certificate, admitted to having an affair with Scarlett, and uploaded the video. However, many people on the internet had already preconceived ideas, thinking that I was bullying others because of my family background. And they also thought that I was using money to manipulate Ryan. And his clarification was just a compromise under pressure. This Violet has some family property and is forcing people to turn black into white. Poor cake girl. She met such a heartless boyfriend. I was still labeled as a mistress and was insulted along with my whole family. My assistant bought me a new phone. And I immediately froze Ryan's bank card. He became anxious and was about to kneel down with his legs going weak. Wife. Listen to my explanation. Scarlett and I are really not what you think. I sneered. Then, what are you like? Don't you always like to eat the taro paste and shredded quark from her store? I went to buy it every night and got familiar with her. I just found out some time ago that she was my childhood playmate in my hometown. Ryan grabbed a handful of his hair violently. She usually seems gentle. I really don't know why she went crazy tonight. I closed my eyes tightly. My voice devoid of any emotion. Ryan. Don't treat me like a fool. Scarlett regards you as her first love boyfriend all the time. A number of group photos you two took is more than the total number we took in the past 5 years. This fully explains the problem. So, I opened my eyes warily and stared at him, who looked nervous. Pack your things tonight and get out of my house immediately. Wife. Your sister's life and death are still unknown. And you're ill. How can I abandon you at this time? I interrupted his self-righteous affection. Correct that. It's not that you abandon me. It's that I'm kicking you out. Seeing my tough attitude, Ryan was silent for a while. When he looked up, there was a gloomy look in his eyes. Violet. Don't be willful. You have to think carefully. I ignored him and told him to get lost. Unexpectedly. Half an hour later, the attending doctor of my sister suddenly came to call me. Violet. Your sister's condition is very bad now. You have to be mentally prepared. I trembled all over and was supported to the hematology ward. My sister's condition was more unstable than when she was first admitted to the hospital. And she needed a ventilator. I asked solemnly. Who came here just now? A tall and thin man wearing a windbreaker claimed to be a family member of the patient and went in for a visit for a while. I gritted my teeth. What a Ryan! He actually dared to come and torture my sister. Given my sister's rare disease. The doctor suggested that the professor who originally treated my sister come forward and discuss the treatment plan together. Ryan called me at this moment. His tone sinister. Violet. You haven't forgotten. Have you? The professor treating your sister is my distant uncle. I snorted coldly. So what? So. If you still want your sister to live, you shouldn't act on impulse. I was silent. But Ryan became more and more confident as he spoke. Restore my card immediately and transfer a few million more to me as compensation. I'll let go of what you said out of anger before. You're dreaming. I hung up the phone and asked my assistant to offer a large sum of money to invite that Ryan to step in. If it really doesn't work, quickly find a doctor at the same level as him. It's extremely ridiculous that Ryan thinks he can manipulate me with this matter. After sleeping in the same bed for 5 years, I failed to discover his despicable mess and shamelessness in time. Similarly, he doesn't know my resolute methods either. Miss. Ryan has now arrived at the hospital's underground garage. The driver sent me a message with a location attached. The new car Ryan is driving now was bought by me. Just in case. I installed a miniature monitor in the car early in the morning and connected it to my phone number. Brother Ryan. Why did you come to pick me up so late? The police station made my face all red from holding it in. I was shocked. This was clearly the voice of that woman Scarlett. She was actually bailed out again. You suffered injustice. My dear. Did that crazy woman hurt your face? Ryan comforted her softly. And his affected tone was extremely disgusting. The crazy woman he mentioned was presumably referring to me. No. Fortunately, having fulfilled my incites, I called for help in advance. She was beaten terribly and had no power to fight back. Scarlett said triumphantly. So, is her sister doomed to die? Didn't Violet dare to make things difficult for you? Of course. But my dear, you were really too impulsive today. Didn't we agree to take our time with everything? I know you have a way to get all the property under her name. But I can't wait any longer. You've been dragging it out for 3 months. The more I listened, the angrier I became. I wished I could go down with a knife and kill the two of them. It turned out that after they recognized each other, they started a secret relationship, behind my back. They also secretly discussed how to get the family property left to me by my mother. Recently, I noticed that several of Ryan's expenditures of millions of yuan had unknown whereabouts. So I restricted him. So Scarlett played the trick of accusing others of what she herself was guilty of and designed the scene of catching the mistress tonight. It was to seize the initiative and nail me to the pillar of shame, making it convenient for Ryan to seize the property. They really had a good plan. Gradually, some indescribable and disgusting sounds came from my phone again. The two of them were passionately intimate directly in the new car I bought. A few minutes later, Ryan comforted Scarlett. Baby, remember. For now, I have to use a delaying strategy. It's important to dispel Violet's vigilance first. She's as immobile as a zombie now and can't leave me at all. Scarlett was very happy. I believe you, brother Ryan. Then it's a deal. You have to transfer those several luxury apartments of hers to my name at that time. Okay. I'll give them all to you. I just want those dozen or so beauty chain stores. I laughed out of anger. What a despicable couple. I'm not even dead yet. And they are already discussing one after another how to divide the assets after getting rid of me. Let's see if you have the luck to take everything from me. After arranging for someone to continue paying attention to Ryan's every move, with my swollen and red face, I recorded a video and once again clarified the fact that I was the legal wife but was beaten by the mistress. I will continue to sue Scarlett for intentional injury to me. Just as I was about to lie down and sleep, the door of the ward was pushed open. And my father, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, rushed in. My dear daughter. You've suffered. I was stunned for a moment, not knowing why he came suddenly. After my mother died, my father drank alcohol and sought women. And he didn't go home for years. I was raised by my sister. I saw the video of you being beaten and came back from abroad overnight. He hugged me with red eyes and cursed Ryan severely. But I keenly smelled a faint smell of condensed milk on him. This smell was very special and exactly the same as the one on Scarlett tonight. When he learned that I wanted a divorce, my father strongly agreed. I've disliked that Ryan for a long time. It's good to get a divorce. I subtly distanced myself from him and said I wanted to make Scarlett's life a living hell. Dad, do you think it's okay if I hire someone from abroad to make her disappear directly? What? How can that be? He was greatly alarmed. I stared coldly at his excessive reaction. My father coughed. Daughter. Although this Scarlett is extremely hateful. She's just a young girl. What bad intentions can she have? She must have been bewitched by Ryan. Then what do you mean? Dad? Forgive others when you can. Give the young girl a chance. Consider it as accumulating virtue for you and your sickly sister. My face turned cold. Haven't you gone to see your sister after getting off the plane? Her condition is much more serious than mine. That's just her fate. As soon as he blurted out these words, my father realized he had lost his composure. He smiled awkwardly and said, Dad still loves you more. After seeing him off, my eyes turned completely cold. And I asked my father's driver about his itinerary tonight. He actually went to see Scarlett. I also checked the details of my father's bank card. As early as 3 years ago, he had been continuously transferring money to Scarlett's card. The amount was quite large. And that money was all the money he asked me for on various pretexts. The money I earned by working hard to support the company eventually flowed to Scarlett, a murderer who hurt me. What kind of relationship could it be for my father to keep transferring money to her? I sneered and thought of the words my mother warned me before she passed away from illness. Don't trust your father too much. He already has someone outside. Before being discharged from the hospital, I called my father and told him to pick me up at home tomorrow night. In fact, I got into the driver's cart night and followed his whereabouts all the way. I saw him pick up Scarlett in a luxury car and take her to my seedy villa to eat and drink. Then, let out a low sigh. The two of them entered a high-end Western restaurant. Scarlett smiled and took my father's arm. Dear Dad, you're the best to me. The two of them sat in a position by the window and ordered a table full of seafood. I nodded to Uncle Yang, the new driver. You go. Be careful not to be discovered. Uncle Yang sat in the position behind my father and Scarlett, only separated by a row of chairs. He put down the voice recorder. Their conversation clearly reached my ears. Scarlett, soon Dad will be able to bring you home openly. You've suffered injustice all these years. Scarlett was dissatisfied. Soon? When is soon? Violet's face is swollen like a pig's head. Is she still pestering brother Ryan and refusing to get a divorce? Why are you in such a hurry? Aurora is a sickly person and will die sooner or later. That dead girl Violet has deeper thoughts and is more cunning. We have to make her go to hell without anyone knowing. Even though I was mentally prepared, when I heard my biological father say such words about wanting to kill me, I was still extremely heartbroken. After more than 20 years of getting along, my sister and I, the legitimate daughters, were not as important as his illegitimate daughter. Scarlett was laughing happily. Don't worry, Dad. Ryan has already added medicine to Violet's soybean milk. Soon she will become addicted to the medicine and become completely stupid. I sneered continuously. This was exactly the sentence I wanted. I edited this recording and sent it anonymously online. Soon, let out a low sigh. It caused a huge stir. The topic Violet's father from Why Would a Company Plans to Murder His Biological Daughter was pushed to the top of the trending topics, sparking discussions. My father was extremely flustered and called me more than a dozen times in a row to explain. He was just like the way he knelt down and begged for mercy when my mother found out about his infidelity in the past. I pretended to be extremely sad and questioned him. So Dad has another daughter. In that case, I don't have to support you anymore. I justifiably cut off the fixed monthly living expenses I gave him. After being discharged from the hospital, I sent my sister abroad for treatment. I also hired 10 bodyguards to protect her closely. I want those who hurt us to pay the price. When Ryan learned the news and came to my house to find me, he found that his things had long been thrown into the trash can. Violet. It's me. Let's have a good talk. He was furiously raging in impotence. Blocked outside the iron gate by the bodyguards. Which was really ridiculous. I have nothing to talk to a piece of trash like you. I only have one thought now. Which is to make him leave the house with nothing. I want to make him a person hated by everyone, and never be able to show his face in the sun again. Seeing that I was about to leave, Ryan became anxious. I had a bad attitude in the hospital last time. I deserve to die. I apologize to you. As he spoke, he raised his hand and slapped himself again and again. Violet. I never expected that your father would mess around outside. You must be feeling very suffering and painful now and really need your husband's shoulder. I gave him a glare. My husband? He's been dead as a doornail for several days. Ryan's face instantly turned extremely ugly. You were still saying harsh words in the hospital a few days ago, threatening me with my sister's illness. Have you forgotten? But I invested a huge sum of money to directly set up a research project specifically for my sister's illness. The treatment is very generous, and many famous hematologists are eager to join. Ryan's threat meant nothing to me. Honey, a day as husband and wife means 100 days of kite. You can't really be angry with me. Can you? I know you're not that petty. How's our sister doing? Look, I even brought her some tonics. Ryan smiled and held up several bags of cheap gift boxes. Looking like a flattering lapdog. The sun was scorching hot, and the hot wind blew directly on my face. I saw the suppressed humiliation and hatred in his eyes. You're not really sorry at all. You're just scared. Scared that I'll really kick you out. Scared of going back to the hard days of delivering food until 1 o'clock in the morning. That night, I drank freshly squeezed juice at home. Listened to the songs my mother sang when she was alive. And had a good sleep. Outside the iron gate, Ryan was left in the rain all night. The next day, when I was about to go out, he hugged my legs and wouldn't let go. Honey, I have a high fever. You can't just leave me alone. I told the driver to throw him into the trunk and send him to the hospital. Ryan was overjoyed, thinking that I was just sharp-tongued but soft-hearted and actually couldn't live without him. He showed me the chat screenshots of him drawing a clear line with Scarlett. Honey, I added her on WeChat just to talk to her about how to make cakes. I thought that after I learned it, I could make them for you myself. I've already deleted her. She won't bother us anymore in the future. Don't worry at all. Does he really think I don't know that Scarlett is now being accommodated in a hotel by my father? Are they just waiting for me to die so they can claim their rightful place in the family? Surrounded by such a group of heartless wolves. Even though I'm extremely angry, I must stay calm and deal with them. Only those who can keep their cool and stay composed will be the final winners. Okay. For the sake of our past relationship, I'll give you one last chance. As soon as I finished speaking, Ryan rushed up ecstatically to kiss me. But I pushed him away. I'll judge by your future performance. Hearing this, Ryan thought that I was about to unfreeze his card and really started to act like an exemplary boyfriend. When I said that the nanny was on leave, he rolled up his sleeves and cooked, mopped the floor, and fed the cat at home. He knelt down to cut my nails, wiped my feet, and put on my shoes. When I asked him to send documents and buy late-night snacks in the rain in the middle of the night, he didn't dare to say anything. I posted the video of Ryan diligently serving me on Moments. After seeing it, Scarlett was furious and cursed me to die. Brother Ryan just loves your money. What are you so proud of? You're a pitiful woman without love. I smiled. This shows that I have money. What about you? My successive provocations made Scarlett even more unable to hold back. Soon it was her birthday. In the evening, just as I finished writing the plan, Ryan came in and handed me a cup of hot soy milk with tenderness in his eyes. Honey, stop staying up late. Drink some soy milk to warm your stomach. I'm allergic to milk and have been used to drinking soy all these years. When we just got married, Ryan got up early every day to make hand-ground black bean soy milk for me. I don't have high requirements for a partner. As long as he's a normal man with a conscience, that's enough. Unfortunately, having fulfilled Leia, Ryan has ultimately become a stain in my experience of judging people. I took the soy milk and took a sip. It's not sweet enough. Ryan immediately went to the kitchen to get sugar. I put the cup in my hand in the dark and took out another cup of soy milk that I had prepared in advance. I drank it up in one gulp under his intense gaze. Soon, let out a low sigh. I pretended to be dizzy and fell into a deep sleep. Ryan was on the balcony making a phone call in a sinister tone. When will you two arrive? Hurry up. A dozen minutes later, the two men arranged by Ryan entered my bedroom. You're in luck. Enjoy yourselves tonight and remember to record more videos. After giving his instructions, Ryan laughed brazenly and walked out the door. I immediately sat up from the bed. The two men in front of me also nodded at me with a smile. Mr. Violet. Everything is ready. Ever since Ryan started to curry favor with me, I knew that he must have some ulterior motives. He gave me a cup of soy milk with something added to it in the morning and evening. But I switched them all. Seeing that I didn't go crazy as he expected, he followed Scarlett's suggestion and planned to find someone online to break into the house and assault me, so as to fully convict me of infidelity. In this way, they could repeat their old tricks and suck my blood mercilessly. But Ryan didn't know that I anticipated his plan. The two men he hired after much trouble were new employees signed by my subsidiary company. After the two men left, I opened my phone and found that Ryan had indeed gone to the cake shop downstairs. Scarlett was wearing a black lace dress and had already been waiting for him inside. Having not seen each other for half a month, the two of them were like wolves that had been starving for a long time. They fell on the dining table in the shop and started kissing and groping each other. But they didn't know that I had bought this cake shop outright. Several hidden cameras had been newly installed in the shop. I took the opportunity to start a live broadcast, saying that I couldn't fall asleep in the middle of the night and wanted to talk about emotional issues with everyone. Then, he let out a low sigh. I accidentally clicked on the surveillance footage of the cake shop. Tens of thousands of netizens online watched the passionate scene of Ryan and Scarlett with me, from all angles without any blind spots. Be gentle, brother Ryan. Am I much better than that bitch Violet? Ryan panted heavily and answered Scarlett's words with his actions. When will you divorce her? What if I get pregnant tonight? I can't wait any longer. Don't worry. I gave her a strong drug tonight and arranged for two strange men. After tonight, she will definitely be disgraced. Scarlett laughed. You're so naughty. Brother, Scarlett. Thank you for waiting for me all these years. We're about to be happy soon. The netizens in the live broadcast room were shocked and angry, exclaiming that their values had been shattered. Goodness. The incident of beating the mistress in the cake shop before has been reversed. So this cake decorator is the pot calling the kettle black. She's the mistress herself but wants to take everything from others. I've been to the shop several times before. This Scarlett is simply a habitual offender who casts a wide net and flirts with men by batting her eyes. Oh no. The tables and chairs behind are all dirty. I'll never go to this shop again. Only then did I hold my haggard face. Thank everyone for speaking out. And then ended the live broadcast. Ryan didn't come back all night. I guess he didn't know that the situation online had changed completely, and was probably chatting with Scarlett all night about how to make cakes. I slept in the bedroom at home until the sky was about to dawn. Just as I opened my eyes, I heard the sound of the fingerprint lock being unlocked outside the door. My father swaggered in with a group of people and filled the living room. Everyone. Today is my little daughter Violet's birthday. Thank you all for coming. I smiled. Birthday? He was clearly here to catch me in the act, and slap me in the face. As he spoke, my father came over and banged on the door of my bedroom. Violet. Why did you lock the door? Open it quickly. Dad has prepared a surprise for you. Naturally, I had to cooperate with him to finish this farce and kept agreeing. A minute later, my father got impatient and kicked the door. The kind and gentle tone in his voice was long gone. You little bitch. What's wrong with you? The uncles and senior executives of the company outside are waiting. Get out here now. He had already colluded with Scarlett and the others to push me into the abyss. My action of staying in the bedroom and not going out gave him the illusion that his plan was successful. The door was finally kicked open by several strong men. I was sitting snugly in the warm quilt and blinked my eyes. My father gave a look. And immediately two men came up and roughly pulled up my quilt. They also held their phones and took close-up shots of my face and upper body. My father said angrily with a dark face. Good. No wonder you wouldn't open the door. You were actually fooling around with strange men. And two of them at once. This is the good daughter Mr. Violet, raised. Just as shameless and disgusting as your mother. You're such a little slut. I stood up and pushed him to the ground with a heavy slap. This is the last time I'll call you father. Looking down at the middle-aged man gasping for breath on the ground, my voice was as cold as ice. You're a son-in-law who chased my mother for 8 or 9 years with a shameless face and was only accepted later. You've been living off me for so long, and you still dare to insult my mother? Without my mother, my grandfather, and me now, you're nothing. My father was very disappointed to see that I was dressed neatly. He stared at me with bloodshot eyes. Violet, how dare you push your father? If I don't beat you to death today, I won't be away. As he spoke, his eyes darted around the room, searching. I directly shattered his illusion. Don't bother looking. There's no one else in the bedroom. It's just me. As for your precious daughter Scarlett and your son-in-law and that you've been keeping outside, they're probably stuck in the cake shop and can't get out now. My father was shocked for a moment. And immediately stubbornly said, "What are you talking nonsense about? I'll tear your mouth apart." Really? I looked at him with amusement. He was pushed and couldn't even get up. I said leisurely, "You're so weak. Without me, you can't even afford the money to see a doctor in the hospital. How dare you shout at me? It has always been like this in the family structure. The person who controls the money has absolute right to speak." Seeing that being tough didn't work, my father started crying and playing the victim in front of the group of people he had called. He even demanded that why would a company fire me and throw a heartless thing like me into the street to be fed to the dogs. I don't know what nonsense he was talking. I showed the things I had sorted out these days to the people in the room with various expressions. These included the photos of my father checking into hotels with different mistresses, as well as the recordings and videos of him and Scarlett planning to harm me. Above all, the truth of the matter is very clear. I'm sorry to have troubled you all to be deceived here by my old man today. Please be my witnesses. I also didn't expect that my biological father, who has lived under the same roof with me for many years, secretly wanted my sister and me to die so that he could bring back his illegitimate daughter, born out of an affair. As I said this, my face was covered with tears, and I looked extremely miserable. I joined the company before graduating from university. All the money I earned over the years was given to my father. But he used that money to support his mistresses and illegitimate daughter. If I hadn't been vigilant last night, I would have been framed by my husband to be my biological father and ruined my reputation. The people who had been deceived were all extremely angry and condemned my father for being inhumane. One of the uncles who had watched me grow up picked up a chair and smashed my father's head. "What a bastard. It wouldn't be too much to send you to the slaughterhouse." My father was spat on and kicked around. He hugged his head with both hands and begged for mercy on the ground. "Violet. My dear daughter. Please save your dad." After seeing off the group of people, my father was lying on the ground looking at me pitifully. "Violet. Dad was wrong. I was just short of money and was confused for a moment to say those words. They don't count." I was unmoved. "Short of money? When you bought a bag worth 300 yuan for your mistress and a luxury car for Scarlett, you didn't say you were short of money." I asked the driver and the bodyguards to hold his shoulders and take him downstairs. "Now, it's time to see your precious daughter's performance." At the entrance of the cake shop downstairs, Ryan and Scarlett were blocked inside the glass door, unable to advance or retreat. My live broadcast last night was very effective. Many righteous netizens came to punish this despicable couple. At this time, there were densely packed people outside the shop, just like the situation when I was beaten that day. Some were netizens holding their phones to take pictures, and the others were the professional thugs I hired. Scarlett's dress was torn to pieces, and she could only hide in Ryan's arms and shout, "Violet is the mistress. Go find her and beat her to death." Someone outside shouted sarcastically, "Stop pretending. Everyone on the internet saw your disgusting scene last night." Scarlett's face turned pale instantly. "How is that possible? We didn't do anything. You turned the tables and chairs in the cake shop upside down and said nothing happened? What were you two doing all night then? Making cakes?" Everyone chimed in, leaving the two of them speechless. Ryan looked outside nervously. He should be wondering why my father hadn't reported the good news to him yet. Scarlett was so angry that she shouted, "Brother Ryan and I have known each other for many years. We have kissed, hugged, and even have an engagement agreement. We are the real childhood sweetheart couple." "Really? I sneered and pushed through the crowd to stand in front of her. Since you say your love is as strong as gold, then show me your marriage certificate. In an instant, Ryan's heart, which had been hanging in the air, finally sank. He was so stunned that he stood there like a statue. Wife. Why are you here? When the onlookers heard him call me wife, they laughed even more. Little frosting girl. Did you hear that? This is his real wife. You've been slept with for so long without a proper status. A mistress is just a mistress and will never be recognized. Scarlett's face turned red with anger, and she pushed Ryan hard. Say something. Hurry up and say I'm your wife. You clearly gave your first time to me. As she said this, she glared at me. Let me tell you, Violet. Brother Ryan slept with me long before he met you. He belongs to me. So what if you have a marriage certificate? True love isn't proven by a lousy piece of paper. Very good. I was satisfied and recorded the evidence. In order to win this argument, Scarlett had already spoken without thinking. Unfortunately, Ryan still kept his head down and pretended to be dead. After seeing the live broadcast last night, he immediately understood that the plan had been exposed, and I wouldn't let him go easily. The next second, he kneeled down in front of me very nimbly. Violet. I'm sorry. I was seduced by her. She's the one who came up with all these ideas. Scarlett, who was called a fool, stood there stunned. Please. Wife. Forgive me one more time. Okay? Let's go abroad and forget all this and live a good life together. I kicked him away. Impossible. Ryan. Congratulations. You're about to go to prison. Ryan's eyes were filled with horror, and he hugged my leg and kept kowtowing. No, Elishai. Violet. You're so gentle. Kind. And you love me so much. How could you have the heart to do this? Scarlett let out a scream. Ignoring her torn dress that couldn't cover her sensitive parts, she pulled Ryan's hand vigorously. Brother Ryan. Get up. Don't beg her. She's a sinister and shameless old woman. Slap. Ryan slapped her hard across the face, knocking her to the ground. It's all because of you. You little slut. Seducing me. You even dared to ask people to beat my wife. I'll teach you a lesson. The two of them started fighting each other, which was really like a big scene of dogs biting each other. And Scarlett's previous remarks that distorted right and wrong, as well as her insults to the legal wife. It made the married women watching even more angry. They took advantage of the chaos and rushed up to beat Scarlett severely. Surrounded by the bodyguards, I slowly backed out. My father, who was being held up, saw Scarlett being beaten and screaming. With red eyes, he shouted for his daughter and cursed me for being vicious. That's your own sister. How could you be so cruel? I glanced at him. I only have a sister. Where did I get another sister from? Violet, don't you understand the principle that family scandals should not be made public? Hurry up and save your sister, or I'll never forgive you for the rest of my life. Do as you like. If you have the guts, go and save her. No one is stopping you. Now he was talking to me about not making family scandals public? It was simply ridiculous. I turned around and got into the car, and had my father thrown into the worst nursing home in the city. Dad, this is a great place I've painstakingly found for you. Spend the rest of your life here and die a miserable death. I submitted the evidence I had collected these days to the police. Ryan and Scarlett were suspected of seeking wealth and committing murder in various ways and were sentenced to 3 years in prison. When she was taken away, Scarlett still said viciously, "Let that bitch Violet wait. She won't die a good death in 3 years." However, I heard that there was an old classmate in prison who had been bullied by her. I had someone make some arrangements. Scarlett, I wonder if you'll have another 3 years. After handing over the affairs of the company, I was about to go abroad to accompany my sister for her treatment. Unexpectedly, when I was about to leave, a nursing home called me and said that my father's old illness had relapsed and he wanted to see me for the last time. I went. As soon as I entered the room, I was pushed down in front of the window by a woman in black. She pinched the back of my neck hard and tried to push me off the tall building. "Give me back my daughter. Give me back my daughter." I recognized her. She was Scarlett's mother. A mistress my father had kept for many years. My father, who had been lying in bed, jumped up, locked the room, and laughed sinister lie. Dead girl. Don't blame me for being heartless. You us this. I'll tell the police that you jumped off the building because of depression. And no one will dare to say anything. I also smiled. Then you've miscalculated. As soon as I finished speaking, I kicked Scarlett's mother in the lumbar spine. She let out a howl and collapsed to the ground. At this moment, the door was kicked open, and the police rushed in and handcuffed the two people who had tried to harm me. My father was still shouting that it was all a misunderstanding. But when he saw me take out the pinhole camera from the interlaver of my chest close, his lips turned pale instantly, and he trembled violently. You were prepared. Otherwise, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. When my mother was ill, Scarlett's mother sent messages many times to provoke and curse. She didn't directly participate in the plan to harm me this time. And I was just wondering how to make the mother and daughter reunite. Well, here came the opportunity. After leaving the nursing home, I nodded to the nursing worker who had called me. You've done a good job. I had settled all the bad people and bad things. And my sister's health condition had also improved greatly. She had already ordered a sumptuous seafood dinner and was waiting for me to fly over and enjoy it. I firmly believe that good and evil will be rewarded. It's not that there's no retribution. It just hasn't come yet. Those who harm others will eventually reap what they sow and regret it for the rest of their lives. And my sister and I will live a warm and good life in the future. The end.